Hi everyone. I have not a long video, but I just received an order from Altenew, and one of the things that I purchased was something that I haven't seen them have before, and so I wanted to share that with you today. And it's part of their new release, and it's called Find Joy, and it's a stencil set. It does the flowers, and it does the sentiment. So I thought it would be fun to have a little play with it. I think it's still available if you're interested after we're done here. This has 4 stencils. Let me get this out of the bag. So it's a pretty quick one. The last one, look at Find Joy in the Little Things. Isn't that pretty? So we've got leaves and flowers, we've got the detail, and then the vines. So pretty simple. These measure, let me look. I think when I measured them, they were like a 4 by 6 or 4.5 by 6. 4.5 by 6. So I've cut just a panel. There are no dies because it does a complete panel. So we're just going to make sure that we bunt it up against the top left-hand side, and we should be good to go. I'm going to tape it down because we don't need it slipping around. Since it's not hitting the grippy mat. Let's put that one up there. Or actually, let me put this one up here, and I'll put this one down here. As with all of their stencils, it does come with a little layering guide. And so layer number 1 is going to be, like I said, the leaves and then the flowers. Let me show you the colors we're going to be using. So I've picked out a golden honeycomb and amber blaze for our flowers. I just got the new set of their greens. I already had sage stone, which is part of the new set. And that came from Cozy Comfort last year, I'm pretty sure, the event that they did. So to add to sage stone is silver sprout, which is a little bit lighter, olive grove, which is a little bit darker, and then the last one is mossy granite in this set. So we're going to just use the sage stone and the olive grove, and then we're going to use a rose gold for the sentiment. It's a pigment ink, so it'll take longer to dry. We are going to have to, let's see if I can find my teal tape somewhere. Oh, here it is. Because we've got flowers and leaves, we're going to have to mask off. So I'm going to mask off the flowers. Because there's less of them. I hope you guys have had a good week. It is rainy and wintry here. And it's supposed to, I think it's supposed to rain like for an entire week. Let's see if I can get this one in here. Nope. One more flower, I think. Right. They're very close together, so. All right. So we've got those. So we're going to start off with the sage stone, which is the lightest. I'm dropping everything here. And I'm going to go in with a small brush. I thought, when I saw this, I thought this would be perfect for, you know, I do my senior cards. I'm going to be trying to be careful to stay out of there. Even though I'm going to cut it down to a card panel. Let me know how the weather is where you're at. It's crazy how it changes. All right, I am going to go in with the Olive Grove, which is the next darkest. And I'm going to take a little... See if I could find a little brush. Just give some depth. And I'm not being real careful with it. I just want to give it a little bit here and there. So that is the leaves here. I want to get a rag and clean those off. So we're not smearing. All right. And then I'll take these off. And then all we have left for this one is our flowers. So let me know in comments what you're working on. I have spent the last week or so putting everything into the inventory system that I use, which is the Color My Life. There's still quite a few companies that don't send their barcode information. And so then I put off doing anything. And then I've got so much to key in. But at least it's something that you can do while you're watching TV, so that's a good thing. All right, I am gonna try to be very careful here. I like this because depending on the color of your flowers and stuff, you can get a more, fall look or spring or summer. All right. That was the golden honeycomb. And our first stencil is done. All right, so stencil number 2, like I said, we're just going to make sure that we're all the way lined up in that corner. All right. And this is going to be our darker of the, we're going to use the Amber Blaze. My desk is getting so crowded every time I turn around. It looks like things are falling over. So I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's little tiny dots. And we're just gonna do that with the same color. The purpose of this was to be able to do multiple cards quickly. So changing colors and doing these dots in a different color is not what I have in mind. So if you wanted to, you could, but it would be time consuming. All right, we got that layer done. Whoops. And then our next layer is the stems. Once again, we're going to put this right there in that corner, making sure we're square with the top. Up, well, we were, and the side. And then for this one, I'm going to go in with the darker of the two, the Olive Grove. I'm going to stay away from the centers of these flowers if I can. I don't know. Because I'd rather do those in the rose gold that we're going to use for the words. We're almost done. All right, did we get them all? I believe we did. All right. So that layer is done. So like I said, I want to, there's 4 of these that have centers, and I am going to see if I can find a little tiny, all right. Here's 2. This thing is getting all squishy. one more. And here we go. All right. There. All right, so then we've got our words. All right. All right, we need I don't. Well, normally I use a pouncer when I'm dealing with pigment. But we're going to give this a try and see how this works. If this doesn't work, we'll go to a... It's too thick and I'm going to go with the pouncer. Hold on. It's too thick to put on with a brush. And hopefully this is not going to ruin it. This rose gold is kind of a sticky. We'll have to check it before we peel it all off. This may not have been the best idea, but we don't know unless we try things. All right, we're almost done. Gives you a lot of exercise on this arm. All right, I'm going to stand up and see what's going on here, what it looks like. probably one of the other pigment inks that I have, like the Lisa Horton would have been better. There's something about this one that's always been kind of on the sticky side, so I'm going to hold it here. I think it's okay. Yeah, all right. All right. We survived. Yeah, I'm going to dry it with my hand. That's going to be good, huh? All right, let me close this up. It didn't do bad. It didn't do bad at all. So, like I said, the stencil itself is, let's measure for sure. It is 6 by 4.5. So I will cut it 6 by 4.5, and then I'll put it on a 5 by 7 card. But for right now, we need to let it dry. And then after the video, you'll see it cut down and put on the 5 by 7. So, all right, so that's it. I think it's a pretty quick card. And I think it's a pretty one. I won't use this rose gold again. It's just too thick and sticky for whatever reason. So, let me know in comments if you picked this one up. The price was good. I think it was like $14.99. And like I said, when you change the colors up, it's a nice sentiment. Especially nowadays, we need to find the joy in the little things. But depending on the colors you use, it could go for any season. So, all right. So that is it. It is called Find Joy. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can hit the subscribe button. If you hit the bell, it will send you a notification when there is a new video to watch. And the thumbs up button is a like button, and that lets YouTube know that you enjoyed the video, and they will promote it more, which is important for little YouTube channels like mine. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. And the share button, sharing is caring, and so you can easily share with a friend if you want to. So, all right, so that's it for today. The weekend's almost here. It's going to rain here. I don't know about where you're at, but have a good weekend anyway. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.